If you're tired of feeling shame about past financial decisions, worried you'll never achieve financial stability, and ready for a clear plan to take control of your money and experience true financial freedom, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Lisa, wealth activator, independent insurance broker, and your guide to rewriting your money story. I learned the secret to creating financial freedom and stability after divorce, and I'm ready to share it with you. If you're ready for steady, stress-free income, clarity with your money, and the confidence to spend without guilt, grab your favorite essential oil, take a deep breath, and let's sniff our way through the smell of money. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of iDateMoney. I'm your hostess, Lisa Drenning, your wealth activator. Today, we are with a very special guest. She has been a trailblazing entrepreneur who made her mark on Wall Street at 25 years old. She is named one of Fortune's People to Watch. She's the founder of Venture Mom, a platform empowering women to launch businesses from passion and purpose. I know a lot of you out there are thinking, yeah, I want to do my passion. I want to tap into my gifts and talents and serve my people in the way that feels good. Because if it doesn't feel good, we don't tend to do it. We tend to shy away from it. She's written her newest book, The Life-Changing Power of One Question, which is available now. So please welcome Holly Hurd. Thank you so much. I love this one question, and I'm curious to know, what is this all about?
Everyone says that. They say, what's your new book? The Life-Changing Power of One Question. What's the question? I'm like, you have to read the book. But, it's not one question. I mean, the overarching idea is figuring out what makes you happy. And it's targeted towards women. We have spent the first 50 years of our lives taking care of children, spouses, partners, parents, our employer. We really haven't had a chance to take care of ourselves or reassess who we are now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions in the book is, who am I now that I'm divorced? Who am I now that I'm a widow? Who am I now that my kids are out of the house and that is not my full-time job? Who am I now that I'm retired or I have a different job? So the book guides you towards questions that allow you to reassess where you are, because our lives change over time. Yeah. Our situation changes. And if you just keep going on, you're going to end up somewhere that you don't want to be.
Truth bomb, everyone listening out there. We tend to be people pleasers. And I know, I think it's at 40. I know when I hit 40.
Exactly.
Yeah. When I hit 40, things completely changed. I went on strike and I used to make these gourmet meals for my family. And then I was like, I'm so tired of you complaining. You're lucky if I even put dinner on the table. So when we think about, a lot of women listening lack the confidence to take that next step to, like I used to believe that it was selfish to have self-care, to have me time, to really put myself first. And I think we get, it's ingrained in our brain because we spend so much of our lives serving others, taking care of our families. And there's a lot of, mompreneurs out there who are in that sandwich generation where they're not only taking care of their kids, but they're taking care of their parents. And it's overwhelming. So when you think about the challenges that women have to take this pivot, what kind of questions can they ask themselves to almost give themselves permission to say, yes, it's okay for me to do this for myself?
What you're saying is things will go bad if I don't step up and take control. And, part of it's control, part of it's guilt. First of all, if the mom of the family goes down, the family goes down. We as women do so much. We're multitaskers. We're taking care of the food, the laundry, we take care of everything. And we also feel that it's our job. And if you're a single mom, it's certainly your job. But let me tell you something. If you don't take care of you, your health, whether physically and mentally, you're not going to be able to care for those people that you need to care for. So we need to stand up and say, listen, this is as important to take care of me as it is to take care of the people I need and want to take care of. There should be no guilt around that.
Yes, that is so true. But I think a lot of women feel guilty because, like the way that they were raised, how they were, just put others first before you take care of you. And having that balance is so important, especially as entrepreneurs. So what is something that you implemented in your daily life to help that balance and say, you know what? I get what you're saying, but I'm going to take care of me and there's no guilt involved.
You know what? Over the last 2 years, I've had 3 surgeries around my hips and I broke my leg. So I was on crutches for 8 months over the last 2 years. And that's actually what allowed me to write my second book, The Life-Changing Power of One Question. But I work out with a trainer now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not inexpensive. It's not super expensive, but that is really important to my health. And I'm not going to feel guilty about the cost. I'm not going to feel guilty about the time. That is something that is in my book twice a week. And I go do that for me. It's made me so strong and feel so good about myself and being able to walk again. And that's I mean, obviously being able to walk is a huge thing, but
Mm-hmm.
how about just being able to, maybe it's a yoga class, maybe it's time with your friends. Community is so important. So maybe you get a sitter one night a week so you can go out and have a glass of wine with your girlfriends. There is nothing better. And I've done a lot of research on community for women. It makes you live longer. It improves your health. It makes you happier. So hanging out with a group of women may seem like a luxury. That should be part of your everyday life because it is improving your health mentally and physically. That is a proven fact. Any doctor, I was just at a conference yesterday, and one of his base pillars is community and how it improves your health. So things like that you need to set aside and make time for.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the thing, your question, what is the thing that I can do for myself that makes my life better? Set aside time for yourself, put it in your calendar, make it as important as the kids pick up or the kids' doctor's appointment or your work time.
Yes, and that is gold. When we put it in our calendar, it becomes a priority, and then it is. And we are just as important because you can't serve and help others from an empty cup. And if we're feeling exhausted and tired, this affects the way that we're showing up in our business and it affects our profits. And a lot of women don't understand that. Like, I'm just going to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. And they get to the point of burnout. And then that burnout, keeps them paralyzed for so many weeks. And then they're looking at their bank account thinking, oh my goodness, I haven't received any money and my profits are dwindling. I can't afford to pay my team. And, it creates a domino effect. And I always say health and wealth go hand in hand because if you don't take care of you, no one else is going to, and you are your best asset. So when you think about creating like that non-negotiable for your business when it comes to increasing profits, how did you personally discipline yourself to be able to say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to, hit my profit margin goal. And these are the steps I'm going to take to take care of myself so that I can run a successful business.
You can't do it all. And I'm usually sitting at my desk at 6:00 and I have forgotten all about dinner. I haven't gone to the grocery store. I have no idea what's for dinner. And that's not good, right? I mean, you need to eat a healthy meal. It should not be, something processed. So taking the time, because you have to be at your desk. You're called if someone needs you. I'm a real estate broker. So when I have a house in play, I can't step aside. There's no one else to do it. Certainly I have associates that could do some of the smaller things and delegating that. But some of the bigger things, it comes down to you. And women who are in a service business, they know it always comes down to them. So you need to have things in place. Maybe it's, okay, I'm going to plan on doing the shopping on Sunday for all the meals and even making them so that I don't have to worry about dinner when I can work till 6:00 and know that I have a healthy dinner queued up because I cooked it on Sunday or whatever day it is. So I doing some of the prep work so that you're free to work and you're not left with, oh my gosh, I forgot to get the permission slip for the kids or whatever that thing is. Get organized so that the important things are done so that you can focus on your job.
Yes, excellent advice. Being organized, they say you know, plan to what is it? Plan I'm totally lost with
Fail
words
to
today.
plan, you plan to fail. Fail to
Thank you.
plan, you plan to fail. Yeah,
Thank you.
planning is huge. And, certainly when you have other people depending on you for meals or laundry or whatever it is that you have to provide, and those things will be put to the side when you have a client that needs you.
Mhm.
You have to do something for your business, right? And you want to be 100% focused on your client and what you're providing them. Otherwise, you're not delivering your best self to your business. But if you
Mhm.
know you've got the foundation for meals or pickups or laundry or whatever it is in your day-to-day life that always comes down to the women providing, right?
Mhm.
Then if you have that foundation, you've organized a system for that, then you can be 100% for your clients.
Yes. And again, that comes from serving from the cup that overflows. You had mentioned that you're a real estate broker, and I'd like to touch base on that because I know there's a lot of listeners that are in real estate, listeners that want to invest in real estate. And, as a real estate broker, you work completely on commission. And one of the things I hear a lot from my clients is, being an entrepreneur or working on commissions brings in inconsistent income, and it's very challenging to manage inconsistent income. So what's your secret to keeping things managed properly so that you don't feel broke?
Well, save for the rainy day. But in the real estate world right now, there's a lack of inventory.
Mm.
So if you're in one particular town, there are less houses to sell and there are more brokers trying to sell fewer houses. So I would say expand your market, right? So then so you have, if you used to have 100 houses to sell and now it's only 25, you need to expand your market to 25 houses in 3 other towns, so you have 100 houses to sell. Real estate comes down to relationships
Mhm.
and building those relationships. I also like an investment property that throws off positive cash flow. So, and that may be hard to come up with the income to purchase something, but a rental property, the best rental property is the dive on the best street. You buy it, you fix it up, but you've got to be creative in how you fix it up because you don't want to spend too much money. So you've got to get the right contractor, the right supplies. But if you research it enough and follow other people who have done it, and then you get a renter in there that's throwing off positive cash flow, and there's some very creative. So I learned about Sleepy Hollow, New York.
Mm.
At Halloween, people move out of their houses and rent their houses for 5 figures during October. So it could be your primary residence, but they move out and rent them because Sleepy Hollow, the legend of Sleepy Hollow,
Mm.
Ichabod Crane, everyone's decorated. The traffic is crazy. People rent the houses to be at that location. And one woman said she can make her entire mortgage. She goes and lives with her parents, with her kids for 4 weeks and makes her entire mortgage payment by renting to people who want to be there.
Wow.
So finding unique places like that. Now, maybe you don't want to live in Sleepy Hollow, but find another place. College towns are great. My trainer, actually, who I go to twice a week to help me learn how to walk again, she and her partner have bought homes next to a university and parents pay the rent and they generally rent to women, young women, and they want them to be safe. So parents are willing to pay high rents. And so they rent those homes out from September until May. And then they rent it to a summer crowd from June 1st to September 1st. So they're getting all of this income because it's by a college. It's,
College
university
town.
housing. And my kids have been through the process and I know we paid a lot for university housing. If
Mhm.
you want your child, those houses are always rented. So that would be a good investment. So for a real estate person or anyone who has their own business, try and get a bread and butter gig. Like if you do potted plants and you're really busy in the spring and the winter, maybe you do gardens or something else that's your bread and butter every month so that you're not so cyclical.
Right. I love that suggestion because a lot of the feeling of having that erratic income is inconsistent, but if you manage it properly and then you can create different income streams to supplement that income while it's coming in, but you're not burning out. I know I'm an independent insurance broker, so this is my busy time of the year with open enrollment and tons of things are changing for 2026 in the healthcare industry. So like, I know I plan for this, like this is really busy time of the year and just balancing my time and taking care of myself so that I don't get burnt out. And then knowing that like all the income that, all the commissions I earn, I don't get paid out until February.
Right.
So, you have to wait for those commissions to come through. And it's the same with real estate. And I love the investment piece because there's a lot of people flipping houses, but flipping a house and actually buying a house and renting it is completely different.
Yeah.
If you are going to flip the house, you do want to be able to have the skill set to make it worth your while. Cause I know a lot of people who go upside down or they buy land in places that just aren't going to ever sell, so they don't get a good ROI.
And it's very competitive. So you want to definitely do your homework. Here's a better idea, to be honest with you. If you're a real estate broker or an insurance broker, or you've got something you do, diversify your income. Maybe you can teach math. And in affluent communities, people will pay you $100 to $200 an hour to tutor their children. Maybe you're really good at and this is something I talk about in this book. And also this is my first book. Like, what do you enjoy? This is a great question. Who do you enjoy being with? So my sister-in-law loves elderly people. She can be with them for hours. People will pay her to take their mother to the grocery store, to the hair salon, to go over there and play cards with them for an hour, to take them to a well visit. So come up with something that's maybe outside of real estate, which might be so cyclical, or whatever your business is, something that's different, tutoring children, caring for elders. But if you don't like children, that's not, you need to ask the life-changing question, who do I like to be with? Maybe you like to be with dogs. Let me tell you, I know a kid in college who makes $250,000 a year babysitting dogs and walking dogs. People will pay a fortune to have their dogs cared for. So there's so many side gigs that can give you some income, mostly in the service area, but you have to match to where you are. So if you're in Arkansas, the hourly rate may be $75 an hour. If you're in Greenwich, Connecticut or Palm Beach, Florida, the hourly rate is more like $250 an hour. Overnight dog sitter gets $125 a day. So
wow.
Those are
In
things
Connecticut?
in Connecticut. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. So figure out, and that's so easy to research. I have an article I wrote, 6 hours to a side gig. Figure out, ask the question, who do I like to be with? And then figure out is there someone else out there doing dog sitting? What are they charging? Well, my number. And then you say, I'm Susie Smith dog sitting. And you set up a one-page website, you do it yourself, and you send your I'm Susie Smith dog sitting. You send that to your friends and family and say, spread the word. And then you just start telling everyone you've got a business card. Anyone need a dog sitter? Because as a broker, all points, we'll get an all points. Does anyone know a dog sitter? My dog sitter's sick this weekend. I need someone tomorrow for 3 days. So there's so many opportunities to make extra money.
I love that. Well, what's the title of your first book?
So my first book is Venture Mom, from idea to income in just 12 weeks. But
beautiful.
You can do it in 6 hours. But I give you 12 weeks the first 3 chapters are about, the life-changing questions, figuring out what you really enjoy doing and who you like to be with. Maybe you like to be in an antique store. So maybe you become a personal shopper for women who don't like to shop and have no idea what knickknacks to put in their bookcases. There are women here in Fairfield County that charge $250 an hour to decorate your bookcases. Maybe that's your jam, but it's got to be something you're really passionate about, right? Then people will use you and see your love for it. If you love dogs, they're going to see that and they're going to say, oh my God, this woman loves my dog and takes the best care of her.
I love that. That's such wonderful tips. For those of you listening, get those books and, visit Holly. She's going to tell us the best place to connect with her at. But these are really good things. Like you already have gifts and talents in which you can utilize those skills to earn money while you're building out your business, or if you're working on commission, you can fill in those points where you're waiting for that commission to come in. So you always have that steady income stream. You always have that financial freedom that you desire. It'll be there and it'll help boost that confidence that you desire so that you don't feel broke, but you feel empowered and you feel like, yeah, money and we get along really well. So Holly, what's the best place for our audience to connect with you?
venturemom.com. And I sign up for my newsletter once a week. I do a story of a woman who has started a business out of thin air. So I talk about how she came up with the idea, how she came up with her name, how she got clients. So the idea is that I'm sharing this story so that other people can get inspiration on how to start their side gig or their business.
Beautiful.
And then the other newsletter I do is What Would Venture Mom Wear? And I feature women-owned products. So she would wear this shirt from this vendor, this necklace from that vendor, these earrings. Maybe she gets her hair done from this, all female vendors. Because my goal, my mission is supporting female-founded companies.
I love that. That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your expertise. For those of you listening, visit venture.com, get those books, and start thinking. venturemom.com. Thank you. Visit that website. The link will be in the show notes. And really start thinking about how can I serve using my gifts and talents? Because remember, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's what you do with it. Hey, mompreneurs, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, please follow the show and share it with a friend who's rebuilding her finances after divorce. No spreadsheets, no restrictive budgets, only confidence to build financial freedom. Also, please drop a quick 5-star review so more moms starting over can find this. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. Inhale confidence, exhale scarcity. I'll meet you back on Tuesday for another episode. It doesn't matter how much money you have, it's what you do with it.